Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 5 of our 21 Days of Prosperity and Abundance video coaching free. If you can share this with friends, we'd love for you to. Again, I'm Natalie Pace, and you're going to be able to find a lot of extra resources at nataliepace.com. If you want life math, then be sure that you are going to read the ABCs of Money. Make sure that you get the 6th edition. It's always a good idea to go to nataliepace.com and click from there. Otherwise, you might get an earlier edition. So the 6th edition of the ABCs of Money was just published in 2024, September. Also, if you are interested in living a greener life, which can also result in thousands of dollars annual savings, then do check out The Power of 8 Billion. It's up to us. So today's mantra is wisdom. Right. So there is a right way and a wrong way to do things, right? So, you wouldn't attempt to make, let's say, hollandaise sauce without understanding the right way to do it. Even people that do know how to do it right can get it wrong. But if you don't have a good recipe and you don't know all the little tricks of the trade, you're definitely not going to make it well. And the same is true with almost everything. And a lot of times we are relying upon someone who isn't an expert, right? So, like if you went to a car dealership to buy a car, that person is hired as a salesperson. If you go to buy a house, that person is going to make more money for themselves if they sell us something that's maybe even a little bit bigger than we should be getting. You always want to buy a home that you can afford. There are ways that you should be thinking bigger about that. That's something we talk about at the retreats. I definitely talk about it a lot in the real estate section of the ABCs of Money. There are ways that you can access more resources so that you can afford something that might be better, that requires brave choices and awareness. Again, wisdom is a big part of this. When I talk about being the boss of your money, right? Your budget, your investments, the things you buy, the things you do. When I talk about that, it all stems from knowing what I call the life math that we all should have received in high school. It's not mysterious or weird. It's actually empowering. That is why Gary Becker, Nobel Prize winning economist, wrote the foreword to my first book, Put Your Money Where Your Heart Is, because he recognized that even educated people are not necessarily taught life math, right? So when you think about budgeting, honestly, guys, you get out, you graduate with a degree, which a lot of people, more people are graduating today than ever. And you go out into the world and you get a job, but it doesn't add up to pay for all of the expenses there are in life. That's the way it is. That's why intergenerational housing is higher today, or as high today as it was in the Great Depression. So how can we understand this instead of fighting it? Doesn't mean that you don't want to work for change, work for more affordable housing. But in the meantime, what do? Are there solutions that we can activate right now so that we can put ourselves in the best position? So that's what today's all about. You really, really do need to take it seriously when I say use the ABCs of Money as a resource, right? So here we go. That's The Power of 8 Billion. Again, if you're on nataliepace.com, you can click right there for this ABCs of Money 6th edition. You can also click for The Power of 8 Billion. I also have the ABCs of Money for college. So parents, you should be reading this when your kid is born. And I've often talked about doing the gratitude game after you do this free series, do the audio version. Put Your Money Where Your Heart Is has a lot of the strategies I used to become ranked the #1 stock picker. So wisdom, today's mantra. Don't spin your wheels. The beauty about getting older and experienced is that you can work more efficiently, right? So wisdom is the key to all of this. So don't just, sadly, I know of somebody recently, and he was coming to our workshops, and he was also in the hands of a fraudster who was trying to convince him that he was learning how to invest in Bitcoin, right? And this person took him for more money than he really could have afforded. In fact, he borrowed it at 20% interest rate and then got it stolen by the fraudster. So again, you have to go with somebody who has a time proven track record. You can't believe a screenshot that shows you you've made hundreds of thousands of dollars overnight in this wonderful way that this person is imparting wisdom to you. That is stinking to high heaven of fraud. And so often people will get an email or get something on Facebook or even a text. And, we work as hard as we can to warn people against these frauds, but, you know, you have to be aware as well, right? You have to be the boss of your money. Honestly, borrowing money at 20% to invest in anything is a very bad idea. That's fundamentally a bad idea. Trusting somebody that you haven't done your due diligence on to see if they're worthy of your trust. That's one of the first things you want to do is grade your guru, right? And you can't believe a screenshot of all the gains they've made. That is not going to be the evidence that you need because that can be doctored. Okay. So wisdom, think wisdom. Now, again, the strategies that I'm telling you about, they are time proven. They earned gains in the Great Recession. They earned gains in the dot-com recession. They've outperformed the bull markets in between. They are literally easy as a pie chart. It's not day trading. It's like when you move into your home, right? You got to pick the right home and then you move in and maybe, you have to maintain it and spring clean it, but you move in and the same thing when you set up your financial house right, spring clean it once a year, rebalance once a year, right? But it does take a little bit of effort to set it up right. And that's where the wisdom comes in. So I am happy to share this wisdom. It works. It's time proven. You can check out my track record. You can check out my bio. We're happy to send you testimonials. They're all true. And if you go to my LinkedIn page, you'll see that it's been there for decades, right? So this is important that things are time proven over a long period of time, not just it worked great in the bull market, but it hasn't been tested yet to see if it can survive a bear market. We've been in a secular bull market since 2009. So even if you feel like you're doing great, that doesn't mean that you really are protected because, hey, everything goes up in a bull market. Everybody looks like a genius. And of course, bad strategies make people look like they're just terrible or idiots, right? In bear markets, as Warren Buffett will say, when the tide goes out, you can see who's been swimming naked. So wisdom is really important. And the markets, stocks are at an all-time high. So many of us have a retirement account. If we don't, we need to set it up properly and we need to understand that we would be buying high and how we might do that and protect ourselves a little bit more in case the stock go down. So all of this is doable when we learn the life math, when we put wisdom at the heart of what we're doing. Okay. So I want to show you one more thing, and this is another strategy for wisdom. It's what I call the fire ritual. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a piece of paper and fold it in half. All right. So you have now folded it in half, right? Here's the whole piece of paper and it's folded in half. Now, on one side and one side only, right? So you still have one blank side and one side that you're going to write on. I want you to write down any challenge that you have. Try to do it one per line, right? And if you get to the end and you still have a boatload more, then grab another piece of paper. Don't go to the blank side. All right. So it could be, I really wish I had invested in Bitcoin. Should I buy now or am I buying high? That could be one problem, right? Another problem could be, I never started my retirement account. Am I too late? I'm already 40. Another problem could be, and this is, anybody who's had kids, it could be, I feel like I'm not able to communicate with my child. whatever it is, write it down. And then on the other side, after we've written down all of our problems, we're going to start looking at solutions. Now, the solution to every problem we have is the exact opposite of the problem. So, oh, I missed out on Bitcoin, right? The solution would be, I'm so glad that I have a strategy for entering in Bitcoin, and that can actually be dollar cost averaging and might over time earn me a lot of money. So we may not know all of the things that we're going to do, but we want to try to make it into an action, not just the opposite, right? So reaching out to a child who we feel that isn't listening to us anymore, or maybe is going through something that we don't understand. How do we do that? We might say, again, you start with the exact opposite because you have to envision what the solution is going to be, but you have to take the right action based in wisdom in order to get there, right? So you may not know the right action in order to get there. So what you need to do is find somebody who has a time-proven track record. So the answer to that one might be, I'm so glad that I looked up, a 20-year specialist on teen problems and have incorporated the strategies to become more engaged with my teen. So that's what I want you to do. And again, what you're going to end up with is problems on one side, solutions that are based in action and wisdom on the other side. And once you do that, you simply tear it in half. The problems get burned or torn up or tossed. The solutions, I usually fold them in fours, right? So fold them up. I put them in my pillow. And the reason I do that is that now that I've written it down, I don't need to obsess about it. But when I go to wash my sheets, I might look at it again. And the interesting thing is that if you perform the fire ritual, maybe even every 6 months, it's kind of cool to do that because you realize that, wow, some of those things that were really weighing heavily on my heart, I did incorporate wisdom. I did incorporate right action, and it worked. And that can be really helpful for us as well. All right, so wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. What this is going to mean, and again, because this first series of 21 days, what I want you to do is focus on the mantra, right? The next time, I do want you to incorporate the entire gratitude game. When you get to the wisdom, you're going to need to start reading and understanding. You might need to commit to joining us at a financial freedom retreat. At minimum, you should be reading the full ABCs of money. Start learning how to reduce debt, how to adopt a Thrive budget, how to set up your retirement accounts, how to save thousands annually with smarter energy choices, maybe even with a health savings account. This is all stuff that's going to instantly change your life. When you have more money, that you can start not only just investing in your retirement accounts, but for higher risk, for higher gain, also protecting yourself, earning safe gains as well. Then you're also going to have more money for fun, free endorphins, very healthy to have fun in your life. Maybe even for charity, as you'll learn more from me. Charity, in my view, is the best networking. It's something that gives back to us in ways that are almost incomprehensible. All right, so I will be seeing you guys again tomorrow. Remember, please try to read or listen to this, watch or listen to this first thing in the morning so that you're thinking about it all day long. So let wisdom be your guide today and going forward, but also remember to breathe, remember gratitude, and remember love. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.